OSU's football coach lies about why Dez Bryant missed a game and no one blinks an eye. Dez Bryant lies about hanging out at Deion Sanders' house, and suddenly Dez's college career is in jeopardy. From the sports desk at the Opubco Studios, this is Press Row. I'm Barry Trammell, along with fellow columnists John Rohde and Jenny Carlson. Guys, Oklahoma State faces another big game this Saturday without its superstar receiver, who is paying a mighty big price for fibbing to NCAA investigators. Is this a matter of who's telling a lie and who they told it to?
Well, it's both, because if John Cooper's telling a lie, nobody really cares. He's not at Deion Sanders' house in the first place, so they kind of go hand in hand. It's about both. It's about Dez Bryant being in a situation and lying about it. He didn't just lie once. He lied 3 times about the same thing.
Yeah, and I think obviously this is a rule that's a little bit interesting in the NCAA rule book, because from all accounts, it doesn't sound like Dez did anything wrong at Deion Sanders' house. That contact wasn't illegal, but then when he lied about it, that became an illegality in the eyes of the NCAA. So it's definitely a harsh punishment, but when you lie, that oftentimes comes back to bite you, and in Dez Bryant's case, it's coming back to bite him big time, guys.
Well, let's say that he doesn't get a drastic reduction in the penalty, and let's say he gets the whole season or 5, 6, 7 games. Does the punishment fit the crime?
Well, it's pretty harsh, but there's got to be circumstances, consequences for others to learn from. But I find it interesting, Barry, you mentioned that they lied about why Dez didn't play against Grambling State. Well, if they say it was because of this, that's 1 game quicker you can get back to the lineup. That's the difference between coming back for Texas Tech or coming back for Colorado, because usually it's a 50% penalty here. That's half the season. That's 6 games. 6 games, if you throw in Grambling State, Jenny, that's coming back for Texas Tech, not Colorado.
Well, and you know what? It would be a shame if Dez Bryant's Oklahoma State career ended like this. For all the great things that he did on the field, I understand he did this to himself. He lied. He put himself in this situation. But if he doesn't play another game for Oklahoma State, which is possible, I mean, that's a possibility. If he doesn't play another game for them, it would just really be a shame that such a great player, a guy who's going to have, in my estimation, a great professional career, this would be the final chapter of his Oklahoma State career. That would really be too bad.
My problem with the situation is I know Dez did wrong, and I know the NCAA has to be hard on people being truthful, because then all of a sudden, if they don't, the investigations fall apart. But this is obviously a kid with no home training. This is obviously a kid that is put into a situation where he really didn't have any idea what's going on. I'm not an NCAA basher, but I think sometimes the NCAA, like the professional leagues, everything is set up for everyone except the athletes. And I think Dez Bryant is in a bad situation. He now has legal representation. I wish he'd have had the legal representation when he was being interviewed by the NCAA. So, do you think he'll be back? Let's make a prediction. Will we see Dez Bryant on the field again for the Cowboys?
I'm thinking it'll be 6 games, which, I wish it could be tomorrow afternoon, given the circumstances. And I mean, Jenny, I know Deion's a great humanitarian for all mankind, but if he really cared about this kid, call him in January after a bowl game. He knows he set this kid up for a fall. He knows the circumstances. Deion's smarter than that.
Yeah, I think he will be back too. I think the fact that they went to Indianapolis, took the steps to go and state the case one-on-one to the NCAA, I think that's a good step. But I'll be interested to see how some other factors play into this whole thing. One is the Andy Oliver case. Is there any sort of retribution, if you will, from the NCAA with that case, which they had to settle for $750,000 involving the Oklahoma State pitcher? I don't know if there's anything at play there. And then also, Deion Sanders, Florida State, I mean, they weren't exactly the favorite sons in the NCAA's eyes. So I wonder how some of these other sort of side issues may play into this. I think he comes back, but at the same time, if he doesn't, I'm not going to be totally surprised by that.
I actually think the NCAA has a heart. I think maybe he lied 3 times to him. A 3-game suspension seems fair to me. 1 game for each lie. Let's have Dez back in a week or 2. Hey, that'll do it from the Opubco Studios, but stay tuned for more coverage on Dez Bryant and OSU on News OK, as well as every day in the Oklahoman.